I don't enjoy watching fist fights. I don't search the internet for guys knocking out their grandmothers on the street. I'm never watching street fights. I'm not a fan of other martial arts, the PFLs, the smaller leagues. I like UFC for the characters, the people and their journey. It's not about when they actually get in the cage. That's the worst part of the UFC. It's the journey leading up. Can Volkanovski regain his title? Oh my God, he got knocked out twice. What's gonna happen? And you're like nervous watching these fights because of the story behind it. Lately, every week, I go to pick the fights on Tapology and I'm like, who the hell is that?
The power is within us. We can make this better. Forget divide and conquer. Weather the storm together.
I don't know when it happened specifically, but there was some point where I think it was like Raquel Pennington was headlining a pay-per-view. And I was like, what the hell is that? Are you joking? That was the first pay-per-view I did not buy. I was like, are you joking? That's an insult. And that's in my country, I think it was. You wanted me to go to that event? And then I kept seeing like fight night events headlined by Johnny Walker versus, I'm like, are you joking? What do you mean headlining? Like I keep seeing these announcements. It's like headlining a fight. Like that wouldn't headline the prelims on an older card. It's gotten so painful to where I had to make a video and just speak my mind. I don't even care about this channel at all. When's the last time I uploaded a video? Like 10 years ago. It's on my mind. And I just have to go through this together to heal my own emotions from the pain that I'm witnessing here. Let me show you an example. So we got this card coming up this weekend. I'm actually kind of excited about this card, if I'm being honest with you. Like, even though this is a rematch, there's some intrigue there. Sean O'Malley's healthy now. Oh my God, he's not injured. What's he gonna do? He did have Rob in trouble in the 5th round, so it's like, okay, there's potential. I think he's still gonna steamroll him. Oh boy. And then like, I'm interested in Kayla Harrison. She's a character. And like, is she gonna demolish Pena? Oh my God. And then it falls off pretty hard off a cliff. Joe Pyfer, the guy who had diarrhea, that's all I know about him. And Kevin, like he's done for, I think. But like, here's the point. You scroll down to the very bottom and it always begins with who the hell are these guys? I'll tell you who they are. There's 2 types of fighters now that make up the UFC. One is the guy who's making his UFC debut because he's not a UFC fighter at all. It's his first fight ever. Or the second guy who's lost like 2 out of 3, if not 4 out of 5. And he's on a streak heading in the wrong direction, but you might have heard of him. You probably haven't. It's just this mix of, these aren't UFC fighters anymore. This is just fist fights on the street. Like anybody, Kimbo started that. So Mark Choinsky, that's a name that's gonna stick in the mind. Oh yeah, LFA. Yeah, these are not UFC fights. So this is not a UFC fighter, but he's here somehow for some reason. He's fighting a guy who's also not a UFC contender. Okay, he won a contender show and then boom, won a decision and a split decision. Often you see the contender fight and then a loss or 2 losses because they're clearly not UFC fighters. But okay, you have a guy that I've never heard of. Congratulations. Next up on the cards, is he a UFC guy? He did win, then he lost hard, and then he won somehow against a guy I've never heard of. This guy coming on in contender fighter and he won, so potential, but right now he is nobody. And he's already 25 and he's from Australia. He probably rides a kangaroo to work. No one cares about him. The intrigue about UFC is that they have the best fighters in the world. Like no one can do what the UFC does. No one's putting on John Jones versus Aspinall. That's totally gonna happen any month. It's coming soon. But these big fights were just like, holy shit, and then you're nervous to see it. Whereas like, we're getting, who? Jekka Saragi. He fought in the UFC once and lost immediately, got knocked out, and then he somehow won, and then he lost again, submission. That's not a UFC fighter. He's 1 and 2, and this guy has never fought anywhere that we've ever heard of, and he's probably gonna win. And we get to the first fighter I've actually heard of. I've heard the name before, but like there's 0 interest in her fights. I don't remember a moment. She's lost 2 in a row. I don't remember when it took a head turn south out of Satan's ass. I think it was after UFC 300. That was like, holy shit. Look at that card. How do you do that? What are you talking about? And then every card after that has been the worst card ever. It might have been happening before that. I don't remember. But like all these cards are terrible and there's no reason to tune in. You know, for the first time I'm now seeing. So I canceled my Fight Pass subscription. I was like, the hell with that. UFC pay-per-views, I used to see them. I used to buy every single one. And when I didn't, I would see them show up certain places. Now, I'm not even seeing them. People aren't even bothering to upload them. That's a first ever. It used to always be every day since frickin' George St. Pierre fought Jake Shields. We're talking about that kind of streak, decade type of thing. They were always there, but now people are just like, no one's probably gonna watch this. I'm not even uploading it, whoever that guy is. Legally, of course. But this is the first time in like a decade that I don't watch the cards. I watched every single card for like, I don't know how many years, since Tough 1. Like, that show brought me in. I saw like, these are the guys, oh, Chris Lieben, he's such a character, he's funny, but he's so tough, oh my God. And like, so like I had this investment in the character, and then I would see like, oh my God, Anderson Silva's killing my boy. Oh, why'd you do that? And like all these characters come in and you develop love for them, even though they're fighters and they could kill you. It's like a tiger, pet tiger or something. It's like, oh, you had the Conor McGregor days and he's going over to fight Mayweather and like, what the hell is happening? And like all this excitement around the sport and prospects that are just like undefeated, unbeatable seeming. But we're now in a place where like these cards are so just bewildering. You're just looking at it like you can't be serious. That's a card. And you expect me to spend a night watching that? Like not only is the main fight not that interesting, the rest of it is like I've never heard of anyone. So like I don't know what happened to the UFC being the best product ever, and then it seems like they bought Bellator. They're the ones that bought it. Like what the hell happened with PFL and Bellator? PFL buys Bellator and then no interesting fight ever gets made ever again. They somehow absorb another company. I said that, paused, I had a stroke. How do you absorb an entire company and then never put on an interesting fight ever? What happened there? Like, we don't want to, there's so many things, like Conor McGregor, he wants to fight. UFC is not letting him fight for some reason. I don't know what it is. They want him to, they're afraid of losing him to another company, and I don't know, there's some political stuff with him. He could have fought and he would have, but they're stopping it. They're stopping us from having fun. They don't want nice fights, and I don't know why, what's happening. ESPN is in control. I don't know, something's different with this whole thing, and it's tanked off a cliff. And now like I can barely even care about the product. But when you look at the upcoming fights, like I'm interested in Usman versus Buckley. Like, does Usman still have it? That could be an interesting one fight card. Who's on it though? Rose, okay, I don't know, man. Ever since her fight with the little one, Carla Esparza, like that ruined my life for women's MMA. I can't even watch it anymore. And then we're already falling off a cliff to Edmund Shabazian. Hey, Garbrandt, I remember him. Who's this guy? He's probably someone who's gonna kill you. That sucks. I don't even know who he is, and he's better than you. That sucks. I mean, Hill versus Roundtree, that's an interesting prelim headliner, in my opinion, but you're headlining a main card. And then Fiziev, you lost to Gaethje, so you suck now. You're nobody. I don't see how Lewis is headlining events still. That makes no sense. Why is Holloway fighting Poirier? They like each other, and they fought twice already. We don't need to see it. I don't want either guy to lose ever. And somehow Albazi is headlining the next main card at the Apex, my favorite arena. So I don't know if it's because Dana doesn't care anymore. He has his power slap thing. He's starting boxing. He's doing all kinds of other things, other challenges to conquer. Like, we've already done the MMA thing. You got it from here, right, boys? They don't have it at all. And nobody's willing to sacrifice themselves when Dana's doing the press conference, asking them, like, what's happened to the product? You'll be shot out of the building. So someone should ask, like, how come these fight cards are so, I've never heard of any of these. And then he strikes you down with lightning because you're afraid to lose your job. Just risk it for us. We want to know the answers. You pussy. So what do you think? Are you noticing it too? The decline, the steep decline off into mediocrity where you're not even competing with Bellator? Is that what we're in now? That's what the UFC is? Just like up-and-comer guys who might be good one day but likely won't because they get punched in the head for the living and that doesn't last very long? What the hell happened? Let me know down below, and I will be leaving now. Thank you for watching. Don't subscribe. I hate making videos about this. I'll leave.